Hey, my name is Ben Foote. I'm committed to be mayor of Ottumwa, Iowa, and I'm glad you found this video. If you found this video, that means you've also found where there's lots of other videos talking about the different ideas that I have to just move Ottumwa forward, for Ottumwa to put our best foot forward and see the growth that we need here in this city, so that we can be the city that we all know that we should be. As I state, we want to be the city that we know we should be, not the city that others say we're not. Part of that is how we speak about our city, how we see our city. But then other parts of it is, what plans do we have to move beyond what others say? What plans are we ready to put in place to see prosperity, to see our city grow? And really, what it comes down to, in talking to several different people, whether it be department heads of the city, just you, citizens of the city of Ottumwa, other businesses, it comes down to the thing that we need here in the city of Ottumwa, economically, is growth. That's what's going to bring our property taxes down. That's what's going to bring tax revenue up, is growth. We have to have growth. We have to have growth for housing. We need to have growth for business development. Um, all of those things nurture growth. With that, we need to have childcare. New people, new families need places for their children to go while they're working. So we need new childcare, and those all go hand in hand. And I may have said this before in a video, I can't remember, so I'll just say it again. I think it's real clear, or we need to be clear, that this growth that we're diving into, the plans for additional housing, business development, childcare, this isn't just a matter of us growing here in Ottumwa. That's primarily where it is, but we're also in a race. This is actually a competition in some ways with other communities in Southeast Iowa. Um, every other community is working towards these same goals and needing the same things that we need. So it's not like we're alone, or it's not like we're the only ones that need to do these things. That also means that there's competition that we need to deal with as we're going through this process. And there are other communities similar in size to ours that are ahead of the game. So we need to make up ground, and we need to get there as fast as we possibly can. Um, so so those are some of the ideas behind, or those are some of the thoughts that are behind some of the ideas that I have for this city and how we can nurture growth. One of the big ones that I've talked about is bringing in manufacturing, industrial, commercial businesses, larger businesses into our community to solidify the growth of our community, to solidify the tax base in our community, and to bring in additional revenue. And by doing that, we'll see values go up in our entire city, which allows us to reduce our property tax levy. And in reducing our property tax levy, the tax generation actually goes up. I know you probably haven't heard that. Maybe you haven't. Most people, what a lot of people have tried to teach us is that if you need more tax revenue, you need to increase taxes. That's one way to increase tax revenue, but eventually that caps out because there comes a tax burden where the people will no longer be able to sustain it. And so then they will move to a place to where they can. We're starting to see that. We just had a report in the last city council meeting to where, as far as housing development, single family housing units, this last year we were a negative, meaning we lost more homes than we gained, or a negative 51, if I remember the number correctly. And I can so go back and watch the city council meeting and the report from Greater Ottumwa Partners in Progress. And Mark Rowe gave that report. It's not a fun thing to hear. We don't like that. We want to see that number on the positive side. So what do we need to do that? If we're on a negative there, are we on a negative on businesses? We've had some new businesses come in. There's new ones that are coming in. Have we looked at where we're at net wise? Have we lost more than we've gained? I hope not. I really don't. I really do. I want to see us grow. But in order to solidify that, we got to have the larger businesses, the manufacturing, the factories. Um, one of the radio shows just recently where council member Reed was on talking about his plans for the city, and a question came up about the mall and what we can do about the mall, and it's in disrepair. And well, the downside or what's caused that mall to be in disrepair is partly it's an owner that's outside our city, outside our state, and he has his own reasons for what he is not doing with his own building. Um, that being said, the reason it is in financial downfall is it's lost its anchor stores. Herberger's, JCPenney's, Walmart was one of the original anchor stores, and through decisions that mall owner has made and other circumstances that were maybe outside his control with the different retail companies closing down through the COVID years, um, now those anchor stores are gone, and we've seen the result of it. These smaller retail stores have a very, very hard time making it because they don't have the foot traffic that an anchor store will bring. The same thing happens with our city. If we don't have the anchor businesses, the large manufacturing, the large commercial businesses here to solidify our city, the small little shop, they don't have the foot traffic to sustain themselves. It doesn't work out. We got to bring in bigger businesses. I love the retail. I love the restaurants. I want more and more of them. I want more variety. I want all of that stuff. It doesn't happen unless we bring in the big businesses. And in order to do that, we have got to give incentives for them to come here. We may need to give tax incentives, whether it be tax abatement, whether we use a TIF area um, to bring in more businesses, similar to what we did in the whole Walmart neighborhood. That whole area was put under a TIF financing plan, and that's developed and grown because of that. But it started with an anchor store, and that's some of the things. That's what we need to look at is those bigger businesses, the ones that we've lost. And I've talked about Superior Machinery Metal. Sorry, my mind's a little blank. Business out of Albia who is wants to come here, but property tax on the building he purchased in order to expand here, in order to hire 200 to 250 more employees, the property tax went up 300% in 4 years, and that he can't sustain that. The bottom line doesn't work for him when that happens. So we've got to figure out a way to help businesses come in here, get started, get established, and then lower that tax levy so that they stay. Here's a perfect example. And this is really one of the things that opened my eyes up. And that's if you look at the fiscal year 2026 budget for the city of Ottumwa. Near the front of that, they do comparisons of other cities and communities similar to our size. And they look at population and tax revenue, tax levy, all of that stuff, property value. And so what I did is I looked at, okay, where are we? And then who's doing the best? And what's the differences? And then how are they doing that? So the two that I'm comparing is Ottumwa to Mason City. Mason City, Iowa, is about 10% larger in population than Ottumwa, but very similar. They're not near a metropolitan area. They're on their own, similar to Ottumwa. And I just wanted to go through some figures with you. So right now, the taxable value, um, property value in Mason City is about 77% higher than Ottumwa. Right now, their taxable value is at 1,280,617,390. Ours, 717,473,14. So they are 77% higher. If my math is correct, you can check me, in taxable value than we are. That helps them out quite a bit. Then I'm like, okay, so what about tax levy? Well, if you look at their total tax levy, according to this report, their tax levy is 57% lower than Ottumwa, Iowa. Their tax levy for city is 13.97, so about 14%. Ours, just under 21. So how are they doing that? Here's the real kicker. So they have a lower tax levy, higher value. Their taxes generated from Mason City is almost $13 million or almost $3 million more than we generate each year. So how do they do that? With a lower property tax. They have higher tax value, but how do they $3 million more with lower property tax? I called him. I actually emailed the mayor and said, "How is this happening? How did you get this done?" And he said, "We invested in industrial and business commercial and commercial businesses. That's what we invested in. That's what we brought in. And that's how we were able to do that." So if we're going to use them as an example or a way to move forward, why shouldn't we be doing the same thing? We can grow. We can grow our tax base, and in doing so, lower our property tax levy and generate more taxes. When we generate more revenue, that's when we're able to fix more streets. That's when we're able to do more things. That's when we're able to maintain the park system that we have, which is amazing. But it's only amazing if we're able to maintain it. The street system we have, although somewhat confusing compared to other cities, it's unique, I'll put it that way. But our street system could be maintained in a way that is good if we have the tax revenue to do it. The other upside to developing and bringing in more commercial business, more industrial, is that spreads apart the tax base. So think of it this way. If you have 2 or 3 major industrial, um, and that's kind of getting you by. Right now, I'd say we're at 2-ish. And that's kind of getting you by and you'll be okay. What happens if one of them goes away? That's a big hit. That hurts. Now, if we can bring in more industrial, more commercial businesses, larger, like the one from Albia that would hire 200, 250 people, if we can bring more of those, what does that do to our tax base? It spreads it out. So if one of them doesn't make it, it's not hurting the city. We don't really feel it as much. So that's where I think it's at. That's where I think what we need to do is increase our industrial and large business um, commercial businesses here in the city of Ottumwa. That's what that's what needs to happen. Um, and honestly, I think when that happens, we have a labor force ready to go here um, to get that started. And then as that continues to grow, we will see the housing grow. We will see other people moving in. We will see our population grow. We'll see the taxable value of our things go up in a proper way, not in an improper way, because the value of what we see in our property will be true to what it really is because our community is growing. And then we'll see more retail. We'll see more restaurants. We'll see more shops. But it starts with a base. It starts with foot traffic. And really, it starts with us putting our best foot forward by bringing in those companies. So I know this was probably a longer video. I hope you stuck with it. And hopefully that helps describe what my plans are and what I'll be striving for as mayor for Ottumwa. Um, I'll be calling up businesses. I've already started. What can we do? How can we bring this in? I will be challenging city council. I will be challenging city staff to do whatever we need to do to bring these businesses, these larger commercial businesses in to solidify our city and see it grow. That's what I'll be doing as mayor of Ottumwa. That's why I want your vote. And you can vote today. You can vote tomorrow. You can vote all the way up through November 4th. After that, you can't. So please get in there. Make your voice heard. Vote for what you think is right for Ottumwa. And I look forward to talking to you again.